ready to open our public hearing. We want to obtain comments from proponents and opponents regarding this matter. We'd ask you to, everybody has signed in, I assume, that wanted to speak. Before we open, you're asked to provide your name, your address, and the city, state, and zip code so we can mail you any future information we need to. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes, and the timer is given in the back. Give them an example of what that is so they'll know what sounds to stop for. You know, we had that last time, they didn't know. Give them the warning and then the end. And we'll ask you to refrain from disrupting speakers on either side, no clapping and making noise, and no show of hands or anything like that. We're just interested in getting your input. Tell us what you think, and let the council then take it back and whatnot. So with that said, can't give me the. We might not have a timer tonight. He's back in his truck.
We'll go reverse.
Uh-oh. Well, if all else fails, just shoot up in the air when it's time to Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and get started, assuming he can get his timer going. We'll start again tonight with John Doe, and then move on to Ron Kellerman. Ron Kellerman.
Right here. I'm going to hold my comments because I'm doing video, and I'm sure you'll hear plenty.
Okay. All right. Joan Gregory, or excuse me, Dabrowski. Did I crucify that one? Joan. Hello. Is Joan out there and want to speak?
No, I'm passed right now.
Okay, you pass right now, you pass now. We don't come back. Okay, William Dabrowski, am I crucifying your name, I hope?
Yeah.
I just signed up to say I was against the ordinance. I didn't sign up to speak.
Okay. All right. I bet this guy, J. Carl Jordan, come on.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I really appreciate the comments by Mr. Kiesler and by you. As far as wanting to speed everybody with the same speed in this ordinance, the county as well as the national. Thank you. I just have a few things to say that, to me, most of the major ills in the world have been caused by well-meaning people who've ignored the principle of individual liberty. There are people who are obsessed with a fanatical zeal to improve the lot of mankind in mass through some little pet formula that they have. And I'm against eroding more of our freedoms with trite government regulations like I read here today and like I heard in the presentation. I mean, what is the most terrible thing that could happen to us if the county does not protect us from adequately mulching a tree? I mean, what is the worst thing that can happen? So to me, council, approving this, if you approve this, it just subjects you to this being a puppet of Agenda 21. So I urge you to reject this ordinance, and thank you for letting me speak today.
Thanks, sir. David Wetzel.
I'm David Wetzel, and I live at 171 Cannon Trail Road in Lexington, and my councilman is Bobby Keesler.
He's wearing me out.
I know this is just an overdue of a bill or a law that y'all already have in existence under London, or in the zoning. But this bill just takes more freedom away from everybody to tell them. And maybe this time it's just for the commercial building. But what's to say next time, not y'all, but the next people that come along, that it's gonna be, well, I think every homeowner will ought to tell them, because see, y'all got enough ones coming up on 12-2, because even makes this one look like a canoe club. But the whole point is you're taking away our freedom. And the way I believe it, I think all of y'all are Republicans. And I'm a Republican, but I swear the majority of y'all, the way y'all taking away our freedoms are not acting like Republicans. but it sounds more like what they do over in Europe with socialist Democrats and tell everybody how they can live. And I don't think the people in the United States need to be told, or in Lexington County need to be told how to take care of their property, how to take care of anything they got. You know, the people have the freedom to do it. And it comes from God's unalienable law that man has certain rights. And one of the certain rights is to own property and freedom. So I'm even opposed to this property taxes, whatever. Thanks for letting me speak.
Thank you. Stephen Skakal?
Skak.
Skak.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, I'm sorry. Crucifying you, me.
Oh, that's all right, everybody does it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for letting us speak today. I appreciate it. I do want to say I'm a councilman in Keystone District, and I appreciate what you said about holding the county to the same standards you're going to hold everybody else to. I also believe you voted against 12-2 on first reading. I appreciate that, and I know there were two others that voted the same way. I appreciate y'all doing that. I'm the chairman of the Lexington County Libertarian Party, and also an active member of the Lexington Tea Party. And I did want to say, I think that y'all are on the right track. But listen to me. I think y'all are on the right track with this ordinance, or the amendment to this ordinance, because it does need to be amended. In fact, what you need to do is highlight that whole thing in red and delete the entire ordinance. Because it is an affront to property rights. It really is. Telling a businessman that he or she has to do this, has to do that, when it really ought to be about the free market. It ought to be about what the customers want. If I'm buying a house in development, I should be able to choose a development that has whatever features I want it to have. And maybe those wouldn't necessarily be the features that y'all have in this ordinance. Maybe they would. But I think that I ought to have some choice in that, and the developer ought to have some choice in that. The other thing is that by forcing the developers to follow all these nitpicky rules, where if you're off one iota, you're going to be denied a license, or I don't know, maybe you fined, or whatever the penalties are going to be, that forces them to spend more money on these developments, which then increases the cost to the homeowner, which is never a good thing. The housing market is bad enough already. The last thing that we need is to have the council, as well-intentioned as I'm sure that y'all are, doing things that are going to raise the cost of housing in Lexington County even a little bit. The other thing is, I don't think a single person signed up to speak in favor of this. Is that true, Mr. Chair? Did anybody sign up in support of the ordinance?
No, sir.
Well, I would hope that y'all would take into account the fact that the public and the voters do not support it, and I would hope that you would represent our interests and our wishes.
Before you leave.
Yes, sir.
Give us your address, please.
Yes, sir. That's 245 Lowry, Lowry Road, West Columbia, 29170.
Thanks, sir.
Yes, sir.
Charlotte? Estes? Burgess? Am I closing?
Us know.
Okay.
At the beginning of this meeting at 4:30 this afternoon, everyone except David Summers turned around, put their hands over their hearts, and pledged allegiance to the flag. Liberty and justice for all. For all. Liberty and justice. I want my property, liberty. I don't want Lexington County telling me what I can and can't do with my property. Nobody else here wants you telling us what we do with our property. I can't put it as good as Stephen does. Stephen speaks well, and I agree with him. But y'all got to do something besides nitpick about people's yards. If that's all y'all got to do, we don't need you. We don't need people like that. Find something important to do.
Ma'am, that's not what this meeting's about. Thank you, though.